Greetings from White Tank Mountain Regional Park. On today's episode, I'm going to be exploring a very popular trail here at a time of day where there's really nobody here, just so I can enjoy it for myself. It's known as the Waterfall Trail. Now, there is supposed to be a waterfall somewhere in here that may or may not be running, and Indian petroglyphs. So here's how this works. It looks like it's an out and back trail. We're here, we're going to hike on down to the waterfall, which is the end of the trail, and then we'll head back. It's not quite sunset yet, but the sun's about to go down below the mountains, so it should start to get a little bit darker down here. And I've read about this trail on the internet, and I've read that it can be a madhouse, like on the weekends, and I hear it's not as pleasant when it's that crowded, especially when the waterfall is running. I figured since I'm camping, I would drive over here. And sure enough, there's nobody here. It's during the week, and it's late in the day. So I guess that's the double bonus. So this is really cool. It's a kind of weathered sign that tells you about the fauna in the area. Everything from mountain lions. Always gotta love that. Coyotes, bobcats, deer, ringtails, Gila monster. I wanna see one of those one day. Desert tortoises and scorpions, yuck. And so far, this trail here, I don't know if it's paved the whole way, but this is beautifully paved. I love how the sun is kind of coming through a canyon over there, and you can still see the sunlight right out beyond. All right, we're seeing warnings about defacing things in the property, which means usually that there's Indian petroglyphs coming up. On the rocks out there, you can see petroglyphs. Unfortunately, they've railed this area off, so you can't go any closer, which is a shame because I like to see them up close, but I understand. Looks like there's a viewing area over here with lots of seating. I imagine there must be something good over here. There is quite the congregation here of Native American petroglyphs. I'm going to guess hundreds of years old, maybe over 1,000 years old. I'm not an expert though, so maybe older. Sometimes you read that these things are thousands of years old, and then someone that knows things about these will freak out and tell you, no, that's not true. So just so I don't get yelled at by passionate people, like they're saying that these petroglyphs may be 3,000 or more years old, and they're justifying that by the lightness of them on the desert varnish. The older they get, the harder they are to see. So I think they're trying to use how faded they are to judge how old they are. It is really interesting though to think if these things were actually 3,000 years old, how long ago they were made. Probably not these particular ones, maybe other ones in the area. Now we were at Valley of Fire State Park, where they're at Lattle Rock, as it's called. They've got a bunch of petroglyphs that they claim are 4,000 years old. And I posted that online at one point on social media and got hammered by somebody. So I decided to email Valley of Fire and inquire about the validity of that. And they actually put me in touch with one of the interpreters there, who also agreed that he thought that the estimates were off. Wow, there's quite a wash down here. It probably portends a waterfall up ahead. And that's all the warning I need to stay on the trail. Venomous animals inhabit the area. And another view of that really well polished white stone down there. Oh, and by the way, I didn't even realize it until now. The trail did go from being paved to not paved, so accessibility has flown out the window. And it looks like we're starting to do a slight ascent here, nothing major. The trail goes off in different directions. You've got area closed signs, this big metal tank over here. It's full of holes. Those bullet holes. You can actually see inside there. You see that? I'm genuinely curious what that is and why that's all the way out here. Very strange. And over to the left of the tank, if we scan over this way, are more petroglyphs. And this sign here is kind of cool. It talks about what some of these figures might mean. For example, there's this one, I see this one a lot. It's like a squiggly snake. It says it might be a clan symbol or a warning, or even the depiction of a snake encounter. I'm gonna guess the waterfall is over this way. It's gotta be, because you got that wash that emanates from it over there. And there's really not much room for this trail. I don't see it going up anywhere, so I'm assuming we're nearing the trail's end. Oh, to my surprise, there's water over here in these little pools. I believe these are examples of tanks or tanahas, and I believe White Tank got its name because of the white color of this rock. I was reading about that down there. They had a sign about geology, and mineral processes bleached this stone somehow, I think is what it said. That's kind of scary looking up there. These cliff walls are looming right above. And I think this is some kind of granite, if I'm not mistaken. This is very cold to the touch. I think that's the waterfall, actually. It is flowing. You can really see it flowing here. And you can hear the water. I assume there's another pool behind here that we can't see. I'm gonna bet that this is an Instagram spot, so get ready. So yeah, this is the waterfall, and I'm absolutely loving it back here. This is really cool. Speaking of cool, it's interesting as you approach walking up here, you really feel the temperature drop a couple degrees, or so it feels. I'm assuming because you've got water in the dry air and it creates a cooling effect. But it's very pleasant, very peaceful back here. I'm just trying to imagine it though with like hordes of people, because that does happen. It's getting dark very fast now. The point where I gotta lose the sunglasses, I think. So I've got about another mile, I think, to walk back. I'm pretty sure that was a mile coming up and a mile going back, not 1 mile total. Yeah, be pretty careful walking over there. It's pretty slick. And that is a fantastic view of the Valley of the Sun, aka Phoenix, Arizona. All right, I am well on my way back to the car now. Really just enjoying this still, taking in the sights, taking some time for me here. Yeah, what do I have to say about this? This was, I only have one word, pleasant. This was perfect. Whether you live in Phoenix or not, I would call this a hidden gem. So if you can figure out a way to get over to the White Tank Mountain Regional Park at a proper time of day when it's not too hot and you can see some water flowing, perfection. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. It's a great way to support us and it doesn't cost you a penny. Also, look us up on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under the name Cactus Atlas. See you later.